Welcome to the 521 Incorporated technical installation video. My name is Brian Starzyk and I am a regional manager at 521 Incorporated. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to watch this video. This video is intended for air conditioning contractors. We will not only review how to put an actual 521 compressor saver on a condensing unit, but we'll also discuss how to best demonstrate the effectiveness of the 521 compressor saver for a homeowner. However, before we jump ahead to the actual installation, we must first cover the technical fundamentals. I want to introduce Andy Potter, our technical director and head of training. Andy has been in the industry over 50 years, and before joining 521 Incorporated, he was the founder, school director, and trainer for HVAC Training Center Incorporated. Andy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, so before we get started on doing the actual installation, we're first going to go to a presentation that you have prepared for us that goes through the schematics and kind of the more technical fundamentals of the 521.
That'll be great. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, well, let's get started.
Okay, here's the presentation. This is the 521 compressor saver. We show it here in the packaged container, open, and then we show the schematics that go along with the package. Makes it very convenient. The compressor saver uses technology that's over 70 years old. The start kit properly installed will improve the life of the single-phase condensing unit and the electrical components that assist in starting the compressor. It's made up of a pre-wired potential relay and a start capacitor. That's what makes up the compressor saver. We have produced a kit that is affordable and technician friendly. It can be installed in just a few minutes. Here's the schematic of a conventional condensing unit. We're showing power applied. The condenser fan, compressor is shown. In this case, it takes 85 amps to start this compressor. That's the locked rotor amps to get the rotor rotating. Once it's running though, it drops back automatically to about 12 amps on this particular example. So what we want to do is install a 521 compressor saver and see the difference. So we're going to do that. We're going to turn off the power, and then we're going to connect the 3 wires from the start kit as directed. Now we have 3 wires. The start wire, which is striped, the red wire is run, and the black wire is common. So we're going to wire them up. The start wire is connected to the Herm terminal of a dual capacitor. The red wire is connected to the run terminal of the dual capacitor. And the common is tied to the common side of the contactor. Now we're going to put power to this by closing the contacts. We're going to establish power and then close the contacts. And we're going to see the captured amperage now is near 50% less than it was before. In this case, 45 amps. And it reduces near 50%. And it runs again at the same 12 amps is what it's operating at. Testing the compressor saver is what we're going to talk about now. We're going to, again, be careful because this is an active test. Power is applied and the unit is running at this time. We're going to identify both the compressor and the condenser fan. This is a basic drawing of a condensing unit, a standard condensing unit. Let's connect all 3 wires, and then we'll apply power. Place an amp meter around the wire, leaving the start capacitor. We're going to do that. Now we have an amp meter that's going to read the amperage coming from the capacitor to the compressor start winding. At the startup of the compressor, you close the contact and then read the amperage, and it increases and drops. The amperage will actually increase and drop back to 0. That's the condition that lets us know that the operation of the compressor saver is actually handling the compressor. Now, the test can be used on any existing start kit also. The compressor saver is so convenient and easy to install. You'll find that your clients will be more satisfied with your service. Showing them the results from the amp meter gives them more confidence in your knowledge of the trade. Remind them that the compressor saver is technology that has been around since the hermetically sealed compressor was brought on board. Here again, we have all of the capability of hooking up this system right on the package. You can install it just out of your common knowledge. Now that we have seen the schematic and the layout of how to install it, let's just go outside and make that happen.
Now let's take our technical knowledge and apply it to an actual condensing unit. Here we are outside. Andy has taken off the panel and we're ready to do the before measurement. As always, when we are putting on a 521 compressor saver, it's a really great demonstration to show both for the technician as well for the homeowner the before and after measurements. So Andy, what do we got going on here?
Okay, I've clamped around the common of the compressor, and we're going to use a meter here that will capture inrush amperage. And so I'm going to set it up to capture that inrush amperage. And then I'm going to start the contactor, just push the contactor in to start the compressor, and we'll see what amperage it actually takes to start that compressor. Now we're going to stab the contactor to bring on the power to the compressor, and we'll see what the amperage is it takes to start it. It actually is drawing 49.3 amps on this particular compressor, is the locked rotor. We're going to go ahead and attach the 521 compressor saver to it. I'm going to open this package up, and while I do, I'll tell you about 521. We've actually got 3 units. This is a U1, and it's good for the lower horsepower compressors 1 to 3. And the U2 is good for 3.5 to 4. The U3 is good for up to 5 tons, 4 to 5 tons. Those are 3 different packages that we have, and they're easy to install. You have 3 wires that are already pre-wired on the unit. The capacitor and the relay is already installed, and we have 3 wires that are going to be connected to the unit. We have black and red and striped. The black is always going to go to common of the compressor. The run is red, and the start is striped. So we'll locate those places on the system and connect the wires. Now on this particular unit, you can follow me here. A wire that goes from the run capacitor to the contactor makes this the run side of that capacitor. You can always find that by the wire that goes from the contactor to the capacitor. It'll always be run. Now, this is one of the items here. This run capacitor is very valuable to the efficiency of the unit. We never want to put a start kit on without checking the run capacitor, and that capacitor can be tested under load. So it needs to be tested while it's running. We've already done that, and the capacitor is good. So we're going to attach the wires to this start kit. Our focus today is on the start kit, so we'll go there. This red wire is going to go down here to the run capacitor on the run side, and you always want to make sure your power's off before you do any of this, which we've already turned off and tested, and you saw me test it again, just to be sure. Now this particular unit does not have a disconnect outside, and that's a marketable item for the technician to be able to sell on the job, because it is code that it has one. Now we're going to put the common on, and the common will be up here on this terminal because it's the opposite side of the contactor that we just determined was run. Now I'm going to attach it. Now it's tied to the common side of the contactor. And the start actually will go to the other side of the run capacitor, because the run capacitor is always wired between run and start. That identifies this wire to be placed here next to the start terminal of the compressor. Okay, now we are secured. I'm going to leave this hanging here while we take our readings, and before we leave we'll mount them. So now I'll take and read these readings again once we put the power back on.